We are going to share a few minutes with Gonzalo Corrales, founder and director of AGM Sports. Gonzalo was one of the most promising athletes in Spain, winning the Spanish national and world championships in junior categories, with victories over players that reached the #1 position on the ATP Tour or won Grand Slam events. Besides this promising career, Gonzalo decided to take the academic path, taking advantage of a tennis scholarship in the United States. Years later, with AGM Sports, his objective is to help international students athletes in following that same path. Gonzalo Corrales, welcome and thank you for coming. Gonzalo, in your personal experience, what has the education and experience you received in USA meant for your life?
Well, the truth is that it's been a miracle in my life. In my home country, in Spain, it's impossible to do both things at the same time. I was 16 myself when I quit high school, and to be able to do sports, tennis, at the highest level, while I had a career, an academic career in the US, was just incredible and something that is impossible to do in Spain. This is something that I loved, that it has opened so many doors for my life, and that other colleagues, other players that were with me in college have had exactly the same experiences and exactly the same benefits for their careers. All of them are working for multinational companies and doing very well in life. So it wasn't just those 4 years, but it's been what it brought to our lives afterwards.
Tell me a little about your company. What is AGM Sports?
Well, the main objective of AGM Sports is to help international athletes into finding universities in the US. We had so many benefits, as I said before, that we want to open doors for students from all over the world and allow them to find scholarships at different universities. We want them to be able to be athletes, but more importantly, we want them to find and get an education so that they can open different options and doors for the future.
Mm-hmm. And why AGM Sports? What needs were in the market?
Well, there were a lot of very small companies, maybe with one person, two people, doing this kind of business, helping students in finding universities in the US. What we said 5 years ago is, okay, let's do this, but let's do this professionally. Let's help the students from A to Z. Let's do absolutely everything they require so that they can find the best option in the US and so that they can be very well prepared to enter the American university. That was the main objective. We invested money on infrastructure, on people and technology so that we could make this happen, and of course to differentiate from the other very small companies that were in the market.
And why the American path? What are the benefits to study in USA, especially for the athletes?
Well, it's just amazing how sports are lived in America. You know, all kinds of sports, tennis, gymnastics, skiing. It's just a very different way to do sports, even if it is in college. I mean, it seems almost professional. So, of course, the second benefit is to be able to do sports at such a high level while you can combine it with academics. You're getting help from tutors, you're getting help from professors. Everybody wants you to success, not in athletics, but in the classroom. And while succeeding in the classroom, you can also be very successful on the court. So it's an overall success that everyone wants you to have, and that of course is a huge benefit for your life, not just during those 4 years, but also for your future.
And what are the more important elements for the decision of the family?
It is true, every case is different and there are different needs for each different student. There are some students that come to us saying, I really want to follow a very specific academic path. So we need to find a university that offers those degrees, and we need to find a university that meets those requirements. There is also the athletic path where some students want to continue with a professional career after they go to college. So we must help them in finding the best possible athletic university. Also, the financial item is very important because there are some families that just cannot afford to pay for anything on the education of their sons or their daughters. So we must try to find every possible help so that we can make this happen. And at the same time, there are other families that are, they have money and they can invest this money and they are not requiring any scholarship, but they do need to find a good academic or athletic school. So basically we have to put everything into a balance, and so that each family can make the best possible decision for their future.
Then how does AGM work for the students?
What we do is, through our website, we give all these services to the students and to their families. We get all their information. Athletically, we get all the results, videos, etc. And then academically, we get their high school transcripts. We basically translate everything and we present all that information not only to the coaches but also to the admissions departments of the universities. So we help the coaches in making the best decisions, and we help the admissions departments to make sure these kids are meet all the requirements and all the academic standards.
And what are the requisites to get an education, to be able to get an education in the USA?
It is very important, of course, to finish high school in their different countries, and that is a must. And we cannot work with kids that have finished university in their home-based countries as well. And then there are two different tests called TOEFL and SAT that are also required for each individual athlete, student or athlete. In the case of athletes, of course, they need to have enough level to have the interest from the coaches. So once we have all those athletic and academic requirements met, we can start working with the students.
And finally, what would you say to those students, athletes, that are thinking about to launch his education life to USA?
It is something we just highly recommend at all levels. I mean, we remember our days and we were just so happy being students and being athletes in the US. We know what it has meant to our lives, and it's just an opportunity that it comes once in a lifetime. So my sincere recommendation is that they take this path and they go to the US.
Thank you very much, Gonzalo. I wish you and your students the best way in the future.
Thank you very much.